my husband and I, because of all this stuff that's going on in the world right now, and the banksters, as I call them, and what they're doing, are looking more and more at Montana, and maybe relocating to Montana, just because it seems a friendlier environment. And I don't know if you know about this, but because I'm Indian, I'm going to tell you this. Did you know that the Lakota have in their own sort of Declaration of Independence, have declared their independence from the United States? Did you know that? Mm-hmm. They even have a bank that deals only in silver. Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, just interesting. By treaty, they were given certain lands, and they're going, okay, this is ours. We're no longer part of the United States. Anyway, just interesting. Where was I going with this? Oh, this perception. And I should be writing about this. I'm so glad we went to Montana. Okay, so we're looking at this property. It's out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, really, we had to drive in a four-wheel drive, and we got stuck, and it was like down in a gully, and it's kind of the Badlands of Montana. If you've ever been in the Badlands. And it's like, nothing's there, there's no house, there's nothing there. And we're walking this property, my husband and I get out of the truck. I'm wearing a red jacket, okay? It's very cold, I'm wearing my sister-in-law's red jacket. We're walking along, my husband stops to get soil samples, right? And I walk up ahead of him to the point where I can't even see him. And suddenly I'm walking along, and I go, I'm being watched. It's not a human. And I'm going, wow, okay. I'm being looked at as lunch. So slowly I turn. Step by step, inch by inch, because I didn't want to run. I didn't really lunch. And I just sort of go, Paul, I'm over here. Hello. And just slowly walk toward him until finally I got to him, and then the perception stopped, and I was like, wow, that's heavy. Never in my life have I ever wanted a gun as much as I did then. I was like, someone once told me when they were, I think it was Mr. Hubbard, when he was out on the range, he grew up in Montana, your security lay in your rifle. And so when he went to civilized society, he was like, well, where's your security? No one carries rifles here. I understood this concept. I wanted a gun. But that's a perceptive. I should be writing about that. And I sort of went, wow, that's a perceptive I've never thought about before. The fact that you are aware that you're lunch. Here's another perceptive. A friend of mine, when I told her this story last night, I was talking to her about it, and she said that she had just been in England. And you know, this big castle up here, and she went for a run. And she went for a run in a forest that is very well known to be haunted. Well, she was running along, and she went into a clearing, and she got into the clearing, she goes and stops. And she said there's a moose, and his back was up to here on her, or maybe higher. He was definitely a big moose. Or was it a moose? I don't know. Whatever he was, and he had antlers that went out like this. You know, big, if you can imagine this big thing. And there were all these women who were obviously his tribe. And their young were there, all grazing. And she walks into it, and she went, I'm dead. He's going to kill me. I'm dead. I mean, that was her thought. And she said the oddest thing was that he looked at her and he said, yes, I could. And she was very aware of this perceptive that he said that. And she sort of went, okay, me. I'm just going to walk this path. I'm not going to touch you. Sort of bowing to him. And he said, okay. You know? And she did. She just kind of winded through there until she was on the other side. And then she was in the forest, the haunted forest, and she was running through that. And then she said, that was even worse. But those are all perceptives that can draw your reader into the story. Let me see. Let me give you some other ones. How about pain? We do that. How about awareness of yourself? awareness of others. Like I said, I'm going to pass around this list. You can look at it. I guess, where do you, I'll start here, so. Unfortunately for me, I've been in Florida for about the last year and a half, and I've gotten used to flats, and look at these hills, look at how high these things are. They're really killing me.
You could always just take them off, while you're
I was
don't
thinking
care.
that, do you mind if I just kind of...
No, please.
Let my feet kind of get a rest. Okay, so, any questions on this? Do you have any questions? Okay. If you have, you can always stop me. Okay, now we've gone over them, we just went over that. Okay, we're going to do a few drills. You all have things that you're writing with? Okay. I like to do a lot of hands-on things, so we're going to do some drills here. What I want you to do is we're going to write a little bit. And so what I want you to do is to go around and describe the color in this room. Just describe the color. Dull, bright, white, brown. Just describe it. There's not a lot of color in this room. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the ceiling's sort of high.
Yes, it is. When you're finished, just kind of raise your hand a little bit so that I can kind of tell how we're doing on this. Are you done?
I'm beginning to wonder if I didn't say enough.
Well, we're going to add to it. Let me tell you what we're going to add to it, and you can start that, okay? We're just going to keep adding to it. Oh, you're done? So we're going to go just a little ahead because we're going to add to this, and you can add to it as you go along. So the next thing I want you to do is add in some personal emotion to that color. In other words, what does the color do for you personally, your emotion towards it? In other words, like, I could say, when she walked into the room, the dull colors affected her bubbly personality or whatever, it doesn't have to be great, not just anything. How does it affect her personal emotion?